Oil prices continue to decline as we are nearing a critical level, below 45 bucks a barrel, and possibly nearing that critical $40 level, one we haven't seen really since August of 16 and spent any real time below since the first quarter of 16 is a real distinct possibility here. We've seen the prices decline significantly just in the month of December, and the market just seems very tired and kind of standing back, waiting for some kind of support or bounce or some news that could give them some reason to think there's going to be a support or a bounce in oil prices. So right now it seems to be just the price action is just very one-sided. Let's wait and see where the dust settles, see if we can get some kind of a bounce. Technically, one we haven't seen at least in the last 2 to 3 weeks, but certainly we want to see some kind of sustained sideways trade that we haven't seen here in going back over the last month or so. So right now, prices continue to decline. And if you look at the dollar, yeah, typically the dollar rally would be negative to oil prices, but we've seen the dollar come off as well over that same period. So the dollar is really not a dollar oil trade. This is more, I think, about the dollar's trading more on U.S. fiscal and economic policies, which right now are a flux, whereas oil prices are trading more on the global demand and not so much on a dollar trade. And if you look at what OPEC's trying to do, certainly OPEC, in projecting they're going to be cutting some supply, was hoping that would stop some of the bleeding in the oil markets, and that hasn't really it hasn't happened at all. And ultimately, I think right now it's going to be more about demand and global growth, as well as U.S. supply that is not going to be affected by any production cuts from OPEC. Those are what the market's looking at. Those are what the market's watching. And OPEC will need to either step up its production cuts or it'll have to do something else, because right now what they've announced isn't really stopping what's happening. So oil prices continue to come down. It becomes more of a growth and demand issue than it does a supply one. And I think ultimately right now, $40 is our next target. If we get through there, it could be another free fall. But ultimately, let's see what happens when the dust settles when we touch there. $40, probably not until first quarter of next year, but risk assets continue to get pummeled, and oil is right along with it.